Peace. What's good? This is Nita, aka House Hunter 216, and this is my channel where I talk about houses, real estate investing, and inspections. You're probably gonna learn something about a house that you never knew before. So hit the like button. Let's get into it. So you want to be a home inspector, huh? That's why you're here on my page, trying to get some help passing that test, huh? I see you. Even the ones that's lurking in the bushes, I know why you're here. So if you are one of those people who want to be a home inspector and you know that you have to get past the NHIE, the National Home Inspector exam, in order to get your license, this video is for you, because the truth is that the way that most people prepare for this exam is all wrong. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you should take notes the right way so that you can actually remember the information and be ready to, pass when it comes down to the actual test. Studies actually show that people who take good, solid, structured notes retain information 40% better than people who are just reading and highlighting. Now, the problem is that most of us were never taught how to really, take notes and review and all of that. You just, you get a piece of paper, you try to write everything down, and you never go back to the notes, you never review it. That doesn't help you prepare for the exam at all. So today I'm going to show you a simple template that I use with my students in order to keep your notes organized and thorough enough for you to actually review them and use them. And everything is going to be geared towards helping you pass the NHIE, because I know that's why you're here. Let's get into it. Okay, so like I mentioned, the way that most people take notes just simply doesn't work. They're writing everything down on the paper, everything that they read, they're writing down, they're not writing down the right things. If you go to a class or lecture, you're not, it's a mess. It's clutter, and that's not how you want to take notes. Or you're highlighting the entire paragraph so nothing can stand out. Your notes have to be set up in a way that it helps you to actually review. That's how you learn. If not that, then it's not doing you any good. So that's why I created this note-taking system for my students, and I want to walk you through it and show you the best way for you to take notes in preparation for the National Home Inspector exam. I call it the NHIE Note-Taking Template. It starts off with the SOP. So you write what the standards of practice actually require you to inspect and to report on. So this is basically keeping you focused on what the exam says you must know. And it also helps you in a practical sense, because you have to follow your SOPs when you're out in the field. Then we have important terms. So in this section, you would list some terms from the chapter, because and again, when you're creating this template, we know that we have to cover the 10 major systems. So you would be doing this template per system, right? So you would get one template, and this would be your plumbing. So from the plumbing system, you would list some terms from the chapter that stood out to you or that confused you, and you would define them or explain them in your own words, not just copying the definition from the book, so you can make sure that you really understood. This makes you practice recall and deeper understanding of terms, instead of just moving on, clueless about what it is you're reading. And then the next section is the lecture notes. And this is the major section. This is your meat and potatoes. This is where you're going to capture the main concepts and note, sometimes page references from the textbooks. But you're gonna have key concepts, and this is again, it's very important that you don't try to write everything that you read or everything that you hear in class in a lecture. You want to get the main points and understand the concept during the class, and then you can go back and fill in the information. This is where you're going to spend the majority of your study time here. This will be an extensive section. So for plumbing, you will start off with how we get plumbing. You would go into the main water shutoff, the water meter, the water heater, the distribution lines. Then you have a section for fixtures, toilet, tub, shower, sink, the whole nine. Okay, so this is the star of the show pretty much. And then we have key measurements. So in this section, we have so many different important numbers, clearances, slopes, spacing, sizes that we have to remember. So it's important to pull that information out from just your lecture note sections and keep it specifically in its own areas so you can review it and start to memorize that. So, for example, the max sterilizer 7 3/4 inch, minimum tread depth 10 inches, handrail height 34 to 38 inches. These are specific um clearances or measurements that we have to remember that will go in this section. And then we have my summary. This is the part that a lot of people don't do, and this is, I would say, this is like the most critical part of this, because what it does is it helps proves you understood the chapter and are not just writing stuff down. So you want to write 1 to 2 paragraphs in your own words, using as many key terms and concepts and ideas as possible, and then you can write some quick bullet points up under that to sort of summarize it. But this is where you should be able to explain back what you learned. You should be able to explain the concept. You should be able to use the terminology and all of that. And this is how you know if you truly understood and you're good to move on, or if you still have some blind spots and you need to go back and either reread or restudy or add to your notes. This is a key section to help you tie everything together. And then we have images. It's important. Again, a lot of this information is brand new to you. You may have never seen it or heard of it before, and so you need to connect what you're reading to a visual something, right? So you want to add an example of maybe like something that's correct and then an incorrect version of it. Or if you just could not remember or understand what a P trap was, or an evaporator coil, or this valve or that valve, find a picture. Either find it online, go to your local Home Depot and find it around your own house, but make sure you are connecting what you read and being able to identify it in an image. And then next we have YouTube links. This is what I like to call supplemental resources. So it's not just relying on your textbook. Don't just rely on the textbook. You need supplemental resources. You need to go elsewhere to get information so that, again, you can understand the concept. A lot of people, this is too much information to memorize. You will not be able to just memorize this if you don't understand the concepts. This test is going to be incredibly difficult for you, because the other thing is that on the test, the questions are scenario based questions. So it's not just basic, like, what is this? Explain that. How many feet is this? There is scenario based questions. So you have to understand the concepts of each individual system and then how they work together. So watching videos about the whole like this really helps. And what I recommend is I always say, don't watch other inspectors. Go and watch the tradespeople. Find an electrician. I like Electrician U. Shout out to, I think his name is Dustin from Electrician U. I watch a lot of his videos. Find a plumber. Find an HVAC person. Find a carpenter. And watch how they go about their job. Or a lot of them have videos where they are explaining. See, as inspectors, we are generalists, right? The majority of us know some about all of the major systems, but those tradespeople are specialists. They know a lot about just plumbing or just about electrical, and it can be very good information to watch them. So instead of just doom scrolling, find some YouTube videos that are talking about one of the systems, specifically one of the areas where you're having trouble, you need some extra understanding. This turns you just passively watching YouTube into active studying for you. Okay. And then the last section is questions. Like I said, there's a ton of information. You're going to have one of these sheets per system. So you will end up with sort of like a booklet, a notebook full of notes from each of these 10 systems. And if you're actually going through and studying and reviewing like you should absolutely be coming up with questions. I still have questions when I'm reading the code book or different books about different systems and how things work, sometimes not in my area or whatever. Like, I always have questions. Some terms I've never heard of, whatever the case may be, that I may not fully get. You need to record those questions so that you can, again, close the loops. That's what makes studying effective for you. Reading something, and instead of, If you don't understand it, you don't what it means, just keeping going, but closing the loop, finding out, record it, and then you have to go and look up the answer and find out, close that loop for yourself. So it's important, again, this question section, that you actually record the information, but not just record the question, but go and find the answer. Okay. And so this is the template that I give my students to use. Sometimes I even assign it for homework for them to complete this template for a system to give them a real tool to really help them interact with the material. So I want to give you, before we wrap up, 3 steps on how you can use this to actually review and study. Okay. So step 1 is you are going to write your notes. Okay. So if you're reading the textbook, you are going to write your notes on the actual document, on the template. Then step 2, you're going to take those written notes and you're going to type them, because in step 1, writing builds memory, right? But in step 2, with you typing the same notes into a Google Doc or Word or whatever, now you're having to read and reprocess the information as you type. And then step 3, now you can use that Google Doc for a review session. You can pull it up on your phone. You could print out the hard copy version if you like to. You can always scan your summaries, the terms, those key measurements in quick sessions. You will always have an active study tool that you can use to review, as opposed to trying to go through those books or just winging it. The creation of your note-taking doc, as well as the review of it, promotes multiple points of interaction: writing, typing, reading, and we're giving you a quick way to continue to study and prepare for the exam. We want to interact with the material as many times as we can so that it sticks. And if you take notes like this, you'll actually retain the information instead of being so overwhelmed by it. Okay. I created another tool to help you prepare for and pass the NHIE. It's an NHIE study guide where I, for you, have went through the 10 major systems and outlined those major concepts, the components, the installation requirements. It's an interactive study guide. There are questions for you to answer. There are short quizzes. There are key terms. It is a jump start that you can use to actually start filling out your note-taking document. Everybody knows that I don't always release my study guide. I release it in spurts. I'm just funny like that. So this is the time that I'm releasing it. So if you want it, now's the time to get it. The study guide is going to launch on November 3rd. Everybody type November 3rd in the chat. It will drop on November 3rd. It will be 150 American dollars when it drops. But there's a but. If you've made it this far in the video, hit the like button right now. Hit it. But I have 100 discounted copies available. I have 100 copies of the study guide available at just $100. You can pre-order for $100 now. And for those first 100 people who get the study guide, I'm throwing in an extra 50 sample exam questions. So the study guide is about 100 pages long, because again, it covers the 10 major systems. I cover test taking strategies. I include some practice questions in there. So it's an interactive. You can write in it. You can pull it up on the computer. It's all the things, right? So it takes it a step further, or a lot of steps further, than your note taking. Okay. I got 100 copies available for $100. Okay. So you can be one of the first 100 people to get to pre-order your copy of the study guide. You'll get the bonuses, and I might even drop it early to those 100 people, because that would kind of be cool. But when it drops, it's gonna be $150. So get yours now. I don't know how long I'm gonna make it available, because I don't like it. I don't know. I'm just funny about my study guide because it's really good. So I don't like to flood the streets with it. So be one of those 100. That's all I can say. I probably won't be selling it anymore after November. So you want to get while the getting's good. This is a guide this study guide is thorough. Okay. You can use it to help you start filling out your note taking doc. and prepare to pass that test, man. This is one of the largest hurdles that you have to get past in order to become a home inspector, but it's absolutely worth it. And I want to do everything I can to help you. Make sure you check out the rest of my videos. I have tons of training, tons of questions. You can go through exam review, the whole nine. But make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.